Hey guys, it's an election season. St. George City elections are the most important thing. We want you to go to votestg.com and find out who's running and what they stand for. See us all over Southern Utah in our voter information booth. We'll be at Digby's Market, Red Rock Bicycles, and the park. We'll see you out there. Yeah, because if you look at the individual price points as to like who's buying out of the market, like, you know, what are the price points that the inventory is moving on? It basically is everything below. Truthfully, it's like everything below 400,000. Mm-hmm. That stuff's moving.
They're buying while they can. I don't think rates are done.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's $1 million homes that are selling. There's a significant number of $1 million homes selling.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with a lot of money.
As a whole market, right? As a balanced back to normal market, if you can even call it that. It's not part of this COVID bubble that we're finally out of. But, you know, the lower end homes are moving. The upper end homes are having to do price reductions for sure to get them sold.
But they're still moving.
Mm-hmm. So, 12 months, year to date, we're down 10%. I think we're really, as far as like peak to trough, so peak being April 2022, we're down about 17%. So prices have slid 17%. And then, you rewind back to 2019 to 2021, we were up 96%.
Yeah.
Right. So really the pullback has been so small. So there's tons of equity still locked up. And that's why I think people aren't selling. Right. I think that's why inventory is coming down. And that was I think the biggest takeaway is that we have the same active inventory, just over 1,000 homes. And this is Washington County. So if you're looking at the whole market, it's Washington County. And it's every residential. So it's townhomes, condos, single family. We're about 1,000. I think it was like 1,060 homes that are active on the market. That's the same as August of 2018.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
It's not a lot. We went up from 2018 to 2019. Our active inventory grew to about 1,200 and then crashed basically down to nothing. And we peaked out, I think at the highest we've been since that crash was about 1,250 homes. I think was the biggest. And now we're down to 1,000 homes. Mm-hmm. So going into quarter 3, quarter 4, we're in quarter 3, going into quarter 4, I think listing inventory is going to continue to fall. So supply is going to continue to come down. And demand, it doesn't seem like applications are down. Buyers being able to afford something, it's just down.
Okay, so
not a lot of demand in the market.
Mm-hmm. So if supply is down and demand is down, that means low liquidity.
Right.
And assets don't reprice well in low liquidity markets.
Yeah. Right. So
there is always surprises when the liquidity happens and assets eventually get repriced.
Well, and so what I say here is my advice to sellers, we're going to continue to see prices slide, even though month over month we had a median price point at 490. Our median price point this month was 550. I'm sorry, 509. Yeah, 509. So our median sold price is going up. Our average sold price went up. If you would look from July, this says June on it, but it's July to August. June to July, prices went up as a whole in the market, but just so tiny, just such a tiny amount, right?
Is that home prices truly going up though, or is that there was, some more higher end homes that were sold that skewed that number enough? Because there's not a huge data set to drive this, right? This isn't a data set of 100,000 homes.
True,
sold,
but
right?
it's all relative, right? We're going to look at the data set is the data set across the board. So as on Washington County as a scale, there's enough big homes that are selling, to your point, that it's going to move the market within a couple percent. So if you get a couple of big $2 million houses, that's going to adjust the.
Or you get one $8 million home or one $5 million home. That'll
but I don't think we had
that wouldn't really move median price. Okay, but if you had a new say like a new development that came online and they sold out and finally closed on a bunch of $700,000 homes or $800,000 homes.
Yeah.
And so now it kind of moved average price, and then that would also, if there was volume to that, right, it could move median. But that necessarily, just because, a certain number of homes came online, say like out in Washington Fields, that doesn't that doesn't necessarily mean your townhouse in Ivins is all of a sudden worth more, right? Like the market's gone up. That's not
So yeah, it like the market, if you're looking at just this individual number, average sale price, median sale price, technically it went up. Total volume sold has gone down in the single month.
Okay.
So to the point is, there's as a median price, you're just looking at the individual home sales.
Okay.
So if what my main takeaway of this is, we've been in a balance. Supply is coming down at equal measure to demand going down. So we're not getting a lot of pressure one way or the other. Not a lot of pressure upward on pricing or downward on pricing. 71 days on the market, it's unchanged. We had 71 days on market. That's like a stable mark is what it looks like. So it's taken a couple of months to sell your house. But if you look at the average list price is $829,000 versus the average sold price is $626,000. $200,000 gap here that what I keep seeing over and over is sellers trying to get more for their house than it's actually worth. And that comes out of hiring a listing agent that doesn't know what they're doing.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. I think it's because Utah's a non-disclosure state. I think we're actually facing some housing challenges because Utah's a non-disclosure state right now.
Well, I mean, if you're going to hire a real estate agent and they're going to give you the advice on where they think you should list your house at, and you're listening to them,
a good agent would, right?
It also requires the public to listen to the agent that they hired.
That's right? Well, and then understand, like, when you're talking to a true professional instead of somebody that's just telling you what you want to hear. Because what I believe is happening, right, is the listing agent goes in, or the general agent or whatever. Come on, let's be real. Not the listing agent. An agent goes in and says, well, and they know the homes were, say, like $750, because they can see the sold price of all the homes around it, and they've done a CMA. And they know it's probably around $750, which is probably still high, but they go in and they want somebody to sign the contract so that they can sell the home. And they say, well, my neighbor just sold his house for $800 down the street, and it's the same house, right? We both built with the same builder, same house. He just sold it for $800. But what that guy's not seeing is that house actually sold for $700. It was listed at $800. He just knows that his neighbor's house was listed at $800, not that it's sold at $800, right? And
real
so
value, value versus
right. So agents aren't doing a good job, I think, explaining that to people, and thus they want their home listed more. And the agents will just say, we can list it at $800.
And another factor,
right? And then it just doesn't sell. And then you're 71 days on market, and you do the price reductions, you do all that, and then it comes all the way down. And it's been more hassle than it's worth if you could have just hired a good listing agent on the front side. But
and another factor of this as well is there just might be a lot of homes that in the comparables that 800,000 or more, right? There could be a bunch of $1 million houses that are listed but are just sitting and not selling, right? And so the inventory that's actually moving is the inventory that's priced lower, that's smaller homes, or whatever the case might be. But that $200,000 gap really is telling me there's a lot of elements at play here. There's a lot of moving pieces going on. It's not typically $200,000 difference. I think it's pretty common you'll see $100,000, $125,000 difference there, but it's very rare that you'll see a $200,000 difference between the listing price and what's selling as the market, if you're looking at the market as a whole. So that was a big takeaway for me. Median days on market and average days on market, right? It's taken a month to 2 months to sell your house. And that's typical of any market, it's a healthy market. It's a healthy market. So this is what I also...
Still a seller's market, by the way.
It's still a seller's market. You got to price it right. And you got to be willing to negotiate on price if time and terms are an issue, right? So, and it's something I do want to get into with some different ways. If you're a seller, how do we bring you a buyer? How do we get you a buyer and move the property if time is of the essence, right? And sometimes it's not always readily apparent to the realtor out of the gate that time is as important as we get led on to believe, right? Sometimes time is the most important thing, not price, right? So there's a lot of factor in that. But what were you going to say, Branden? I cut you off, like always.
Yeah, you're good.
He's like, never mind, I changed my mind. So my advice to buyers and sellers hasn't changed much. Sellers, list the house correctly, expect prices to go down. So you got to be the most competitive in the market, right? You got to be competing with the active inventory out there, because the buyer demand pool is shallow. And then if I'm a buyer, be ready to go in and negotiate. Get in there and make offers on properties because sellers might be holding back on what they actually will sell their house for because there's tons of equity locked up in there.
Absolutely.
And if you can be flexible on time and terms, right, there's some negotiation tactics, but getting the seller to contribute to closing costs and rate buy downs can actually get you a lot more affordability than otherwise, right? So you get the seller to contribute 3%, to the buyer at a closing. All of a sudden your mortgage payment goes down by $300 or $400, and that's a big swing.
Well, and I think too, on the buyer side, just being open to having multiple conversations with multiple people, especially with an agent that might have a little insider knowledge on what's going on and can get you into a property with little or no competition, being able to negotiate terms with the seller before it even hits the market, right? I mean,
yeah, you've been doing a great job of that this year.
Well, it's just being involved in the market, being involved in the, just like local Facebook pages and having conversations with people and stuff like that. I feel like in what we're doing in our business lately, we've seen examples of like a whole bunch of different things just in the last couple months, whether it's listing a property at a really good deal to get an offer quick and get the property moved, or starting high and being able to negotiate down. We've seen a lot of different examples of that.